All right, so today we're going to be talking about some tactics to generate income while you're on the road. So basically, that doesn't require you to be physically doing a job or even freelancing in this case. So I'm going to talk to you guys about 4 tactics. And these are 4 tactics or financial strategies rather, that I personally use. Obviously, I'm not getting rich off of them, but it's a nice little extra income every month. And we're going to be super realistic in this video. And I'm obviously not going to try and sell you guys on the idea that you're going to become a millionaire overnight. But there's been lots of millionaires made doing these 4 very things. So let's start with number 1. Okay, number 1 is going to be probably the one that generates the most side income for me while I'm on the road, and that's renting. But specifically, we're not really going to talk about renting apartments or real estate, Airbnb, that kind of stuff, because that could be a little bit complex. Long-term rentals are, they require more work, and Airbnb maybe is a little bit better, but you would have to own a property to do that, and not all of us do, especially in this day and age. So what I'm talking about when I talk about renting, I'm talking about commercial rentals. So short-term, low-commitment rentals. Like in my case, I have a loft in Montreal and I converted it into a virtual production studio, with a cyclorama, green screen, all that stuff, so that, filmmakers, content creators can rent the studio hourly, maybe even some equipment. And that's it. So that's how I generate income. On the side, I do it through Gigster. So that's a good website for that kind of stuff. There's also Peerspace if you're in the States. And, any other website or listing, Craigslist, Marketplace, however you want to do it through your own website, SEO, that kind of stuff. But for you guys, what shape or form it could take, it could essentially be renting some kind of a commercial property, or a loft or a commercial space, whatever, and you turn it into something that can be rented. So for example, you could rent a place to host events, so you don't even have to do that much. You just have like a PA system and that kind of stuff, or like a recording studio, photography studio, anything that, you can think someone could rent hourly, daily, and sometimes even for a couple of days, depending on the size of the project they're working on. So that's pretty much what I have to recommend for number 1. I think it's the easiest to get into because you don't even have to buy anything besides maybe some equipment, and you can get loans for that. Or obviously, if you're already making money, that's a good place to put it into. And the best part about this strategy is you can expense, and you can also live in that commercial space. Like a lot of entrepreneurs do that. They just live in their commercial space where they can put the rent as a business expense. So instead of paying taxes, you're paying rent. So once again, not a financial advisor, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, but it's been working wonders for me. So that's basically that. And as you can see, a lot of advantages. And this one I'm probably the most well-versed in. But it's cool because for myself, I rent it out maybe once or twice per month, which, covers a portion of rent. And that was kind of like the thing for me, because I was like, okay, I'm going to be more on the road. So basically what I got to do is I got to find a way to monetize this place, because I'm paying, it's a big space, lots of potential. And it's like, well, if I'm going to keep it, I want to at least be able to, at least give back to the community. Because honestly, the rentals, super affordable. You can't beat my prices. So it's a bit of my way of giving back to the community, and also, just obviously making a little bit of money off of it. So that's tactic number 1. Now we're going to move on to tactic number 2, which is probably the longest thing to set up, but it's also the thing where I'm, familiar in a lot because I've been doing it for many years. And that's like any type of advertising or affiliate commissions revenue that you might be able to pull off by having a website, a very strong brand, a YouTube channel, or something along those lines. And you can basically make affiliate commissions by selling certain products, or even get some ad revenue depending on the traffic that you have. Like I said, this definitely doesn't happen overnight, but especially if you already have a business, it could be a really good way to expand, and acquire more streams of revenue, which is always a good thing, for long-term stability. So this one is cool. Like I said, in my case, it really doesn't make that much. I actually recently took off ads off of my main website for my creative agency, which is decibelpeak.com. For the amount of money I was making, I was just like, I'd rather have a nice, clean website. And if I'm going to put ads, I'll do my own ads, for my own stuff. So you have to always weigh that, because sometimes, and we're going to talk about this for the next tactic, because it's tactic number 3, but you might be better off, promoting your own products and services, because the ROI is probably a lot higher than a couple of pennies per click. So that's tactic number 2. Not going to talk too much about it. If you guys have more questions or want me to elaborate, I'll make another video, but it's basically monetizing your marketing channels. Okay, that's the best way to label that one. But moving on to tactic number 3. So that's having a digital product or service. So you've probably heard this one many times. This is probably where the risk to reward ratio is the highest. Like, you've heard the online gurus, that sell courses, and they tell you that you can make $1 million or become a millionaire by selling online courses. And it is true to a certain extent, because some people do, but it's a very small percentage. So that's what I mean. It's like you could work on this your entire life and still not make it. It's kind of like making it in music, or making it in as a filmmaker. Like, you're in that kind of bracket of difficulty and competition. So that's basically for that. So we're going to talk about like the different types of products and services that are digital that you can do. Like, for example, audiobooks, ebooks. It could be like a subscription to a small series that you produce. Royalties from the music streams. It could be pretty much anything. In my case, I license software. So I actually started developing software, AI augmented software, this year. So I'm actually been licensing quite a few copies of a particular piece of software I call Video Tagger. You can check that out if you guys are interested on the Decibel Peak channel. But that's a viable way too, like licensing software or tools or anything along those lines. Anything that's considered intellectual property that you can basically distribute unlimited copies of it on the internet, that would count as a digital product or service, but not a service that you physically operate. Although that is still a way, because for example, if you're a graphic designer, you can still make money like that while you're on the road, because you can work remotely. So I guess we can also group, well, we did call it digital products and services, so that includes remote services as well. So that was number 3. Now, number 4 is going to depend, on the type of industry, that you've built your career around, and what kind of person you are, because it's going to be having employees, obviously. So let's say you have a business and you started it, and now you just want to hire people to do the work and make a little bit of commission. Well, you make your cut basically from maybe renting equipment and managing fees and that kind of stuff. I wouldn't say it's it depends on what scale, because obviously if it's like a big equipment rental business, like Home Depot, or kind of like at that scale, then yeah, maybe you can make a couple of $1 million a year doing that, but you'd have to be like a multinational. So realistically speaking, if you're gonna have a business, have employees, I mean, obviously it's not anywhere near passive income. Like, you're still gonna have a lot of work to do, managing, hiring, firing. Like, it's kind of like renting. It's like, oh yeah, it's easy to just get the real estate and rent it. It's like, not really, not when you actually do it. Same thing with having a business with employees. It's like, sounds great on paper, but you're going to probably be making the least amount of money from anybody working at that company. So that's basically what it is. So it's number 4. It's not like the one, like, is like, for example, I'll hire freelancers from time to time. So let's say I have to be in another city doing another job. I could actually, freelance someone or subcontract someone. But I mean, it's not, I don't consider it a sustainable way to make income, because it's just basically maintaining relationships with your clients more than it is like capitalizing on that. So basically that's all I have to say, guys. Those are the 4 tactics to generate income while you're on the road.
All right, guys, that's it for this one. If you're building something that's meant to last, whether it's a camper van, a business, or just a better way of living, I'm glad you're here. Everything I use, recommend, or offer is linked in the description. Take what works, build your own blueprint, and I'll see you in the next one.